Viewers, the military had developed advanced robots that could replace humans in warfare. These robots, being advanced, also understood the enemy's fighting techniques very well. But what if someone were to hack these dangerous robots and they started attacking their own men instead? Whether the military would be able to fight back against these robots is something we need to see soon. At the beginning of the story, a very advanced society of the future is shown. Humans have advanced significantly in technology. There is a book named Katori that is related to the technology of this entire society. Then, Catherine receives a direct message related to these robots. In fact, these were study analysis reprogrammed robots designed for combat, but the message Catherine received mentioned that there was a problem with the programming of these robots. Catherine immediately analyzes the entire data and reports these issues to her superior. She also mentions that approximately 100,000 such robot systems had been reproduced today, which is quite alarming. This means someone has tampered with their systems. Catherine's superior instructs her not to inform anyone about this and decides to analyze the entire situation himself. On the other hand, we see an army soldier named Ben who used to train with his fellow director. When the team receives a report, the doctor informs Ben that they need to go for a training exercise. Ben is a bit concerned because their team's training was already ongoing. Therefore, he goes to the military in charge, who informs Ben that the committee has decided that his team will need to go to Harvinder Island for compact training because the robots they developed need to undergo human testing as soon as possible. Thus, Ben and his entire team prepare to go to Ireland. Catherine, a technical executive who could guide everyone technically, will also accompany them. However, Catherine does not mention anything about the reprogramming error in the robots. Now, she and Ben's team members are on a military plane heading to their destination. Catherine is analyzing all the team members and wants to know all the details about everyone. Catherine notices that Robinson, one of the team members, also has this type of technology in his eyes. As Robinson had this technology inside his body, Catherine points a gun at him to intimidate him. However, when Catherine explains that she could control any type of device she saw, Robinson becomes a bit nervous and lowers his gun. After traveling for a while, they reach their destination. Captain Ben gives instructions to his team. This entire scenario was a training exercise where the performance of the soldiers would be monitored. After arriving in Ireland, the plane departs, and Ben heads with his entire team towards the facility. However, the facility center is empty, which causes everyone to be a bit puzzled. The facility was completely empty, but after some time, they stop focusing on the buttons, though Catherine sensed a real threat. She does not inform Captain Ben about this, and this issue will later become a significant problem for them, which they have no idea about. They proceed into a vast forest within the facility. Ben's team releases a drone into the sky to analyze the entire forest. After traveling a short distance, Ben notices some activity in the forest, indicating that there might be a dangerous presence monitoring them. Ben and his team head towards the training location, with Catherine accompanying them. Suddenly, they encounter highly advanced drones that Ben was about to shoot at but refrains from doing so. Catherine starts analyzing all the drones. On the other side, Ben and his team also spot the drones. Catherine informs everyone that these are quantum-modified drones designed to monitor their performance, meaning these drones were placed by the military for their practice. Now, Ben and his entire team take their positions at the training location without any tension. In front of them are some firing robots that they need to eliminate together. Ben and his team plan to destroy the robots and start firing according to their plan. Meanwhile, all the drones continue to monitor their performance. Catherine notices an anomaly in one of the drones and follows it into the forest. Then Catherine notices an advanced unit robot. She starts scanning the robot and is shocked to see that there was a lot of blood on the robot's head. Catherine wonders why she couldn't analyze such robots properly. She finds some video footage hidden in the advanced robot that shows the machine continuously killing humans. She analyzes the footage with her eyes closed, but when she opens her eyes, the robot has already left. Catherine receives a message from Captain Ben stating that their training for the day is over and they are returning to their camp. Catherine, not dwelling much on the matter, joins the other soldiers and heads to the camp. She sits apart from the rest, analyzing the footage taken from the robot. Drift approaches Catherine and asks where she disappeared during the training. Catherine does not disclose anything and her behavior raises suspicion. She reflects on how she used to be different before. At about 11 years old, she was involved in a severe accident that paralyzed her body. The military then experimented on her body, turning her into a technical robot, and since then, she has been working for the military. When Drift approaches Ben, he inquires if Catherine mentioned anything about the training. Drift responds that Catherine hasn't provided any information, and the military doesn't seem to have any access related to this. Ben senses that there's something wrong with the entire training system and suspects that Catherine is hiding something. Meanwhile, Catherine continues to monitor many drones in the forest, which are inexplicably observing them even while they sleep. Catherine doesn't dwell on the matter too much and everyone goes to sleep peacefully. After everyone is asleep, a soldier named Para from the lab tests is on duty when suddenly, the same monitors that had previously scanned him reappear. In the next moment, robots arrive, and even though Para fires at them, the bullets have no effect. The robots then attack Para and kill him. Hearing the commotion, Ben and his team wake up and head into the forest. They find dead bodies, indicating that the advanced robots, due to a programming error, were killing all the humans present. Ben and the others are deeply saddened to see their companion killed in this manner. Catherine informs them that many drones are continuously monitoring them, and the area they were training in had become a target for these robots. Suddenly, more advanced robots appear and start attacking them relentlessly, seeming to use them for target practice. Many of Ben's team are injured due to the robots' laser bombs. The robots are first separating the team members to make it easier to eliminate them. To escape, Ben and the remaining team members throw smoke grenades, allowing them to avoid further attacks from the robots. When Ben goes to check on the robots, he finds that they have retreated. After the robots leave, Ben tells his teammates that the robots must have become more advanced, as the bullets had no effect on them. Ben remains suspicious of Catherine and asks her for more information. Catherine only mentions that the robots have some programming errors and, due to being out of control, are destroying everything in their path. Ben still doesn't fully trust Catherine, but the director convinces him that Catherine is not at fault and that the issue lies with those who programmed the robots. Without further delay, Ben and the remaining team move forward. The robots have killed all the animals in the forest, indicating that they were not only targeting humans but also any living thing in their vicinity. Catherine detects again that the drones are monitoring them. The advanced robots had taken control of the situation, and now they had surrounded everyone from all sides and began attacking without wasting any time. Amidst the chaos, Catherine fell and was knocked unconscious due to a head injury. Ben managed to carry Catherine to a safe place after a lot of effort. They decided to spend the night there, despite the dangerous situation, as any robot arrival would make it impossible for them to escape. As expected, the advanced robots tracked Catherine's location and arrived at the place. Ben and Catherine hid in a corner, knowing that any slight movement would lead to their capture. However, Catherine managed to connect her mind to the robot for a few seconds and commanded it to leave. Surprisingly, the robot followed her command and left. After this, Ben and Catherine rested peacefully. The next morning, they managed to reunite with the rest of their team. They proceeded towards the military facility, which was the only way out of that place. Catherine and Ben led the way to open the door, while the other soldiers stayed behind to cover them with fire. They reached the door without any problem, but while Ben was trying to crack the door lock, all the monitor drones arrived at the location. The robots had discovered their location. In the next moment, several smoke grenades fell, and these grenades were being thrown by the robots themselves. This meant that the robots had copied the soldiers' fighting techniques and were using the same tactics as Ben and his team. The robots locked onto their targets and started laser firing at everyone. The soldiers who were covering fire ran towards the facility, but during their escape, Drift was caught in a narrow alley and fell severely weakened. The deadly robots then turned their attention back to Catherine, who was trying to regain control over the robots, but this time she couldn't gain access as the robot system had updated itself. Ben realized that they couldn't save Drift anymore, so he himself killed Drift to spare him further suffering. Gayatri was extremely angry upon seeing this, but Ben, along with Catherine and the rest, went inside the facility. Catherine felt deeply guilty because she could have saved Drift, but unfortunately, he was no longer alive. When Ben asked, Catherine revealed everything about the robots, explaining that they were designed to replace soldiers and had the ability to learn by observing others' movements and actions. Catherine mentioned that she had received a message a few days earlier detailing the reprogramming of these robots. After this revelation, the robots began cutting through the door of the facility. Catherine went to the control room and converted her local access into full facility access so that she could control the facility's robots. She then took Ben and the other soldiers to a training room where many advanced robot models were deactivated. Ben warned Catherine not to activate any of the robots under any circumstances. However, Catherine, for some unknown reason, locked herself in the room. She activated one of the robots to gain access to the robot systems. Her goal was to gain control over all the robots since they were all highly connected, and controlling one robot would eventually give her control over the others. As the robot activated, Catherine began to connect with its system. The robot provided her with information via voice commands. Catherine wanted to disable the human training program within the robot system, but for some reason, she couldn't do it. It was then that Catherine realized the message she had received 2 days ago was from the robots themselves. They had developed their own thinking powers and had reprogrammed themselves, turning the entire system into a hybrid one. Catherine tried again to access the system. This time, Catherine encountered an error indicating that the robots had updated themselves once again. The Guardian robot activated the other robots present and broke down the door to enter the facility. All the robots were now advancing towards Catherine to attack her. Meanwhile, Ben and the other soldiers opened the door and went out to confront the robots. Catherine managed to lock the door this time, and Ben placed several bombs on it to delay the robots. Just as they were about to leave, a massive explosion occurred, killing some of the robots and causing minor damage to the soldiers. Despite this, they managed to escape the facility. Catherine had noticed MP device grenades inside the robots, which were used for self-destruction. The group moved forward, knowing that the robots outside had killed everyone present. Catherine then returned to the facility and retrieved an MP device grenade from the destroyed robot's body. She reviewed the memory footage from the robot, which showed their teammates being killed by the robots. Catherine explained to Ben that by using the MP grenades, they could destroy the Guardian robot controlling the others. Once the Guardian robot was destroyed, the remaining robots would deactivate on their own. Despite the danger, Ben made a plan based on Catherine's suggestion. By morning, everyone was in position. As the robots tracked their location and approached the facility, the soldiers opened fire with their weapons. Catherine and Ben had placed PB bombs in various locations, which they could detonate at the right moment to destroy many robots. A fierce battle ensued between the robots and the soldiers. However, the robots were overpowering the soldiers. In the chaos, Ben tried to save himself but accidentally dropped the bomb remote control. When the situation was dire, Betterine helped Ben retrieve the remote. Now, with all the robots surrounding them, Ben warned Catherine to leave because if they detonated the MP grenade, she wouldn't survive either. However, Catherine refused to listen to Ben. Moments later, the robots attacked Catherine, but she did not die. Together, they activated the bomb, delivering an electric shock to all the robots, destroying their systems and causing them to collapse. But the game was not over yet. The commander's robot system was still active and continued to attack Ben and Catherine. The two managed to escape into a building, where Ben kept firing at the robots, but it was of little use. Eventually, the robots threw Ben and Catherine into a room. The robots did not kill Ben because they hadn't received such a command. Instead, they were focused on eliminating Catherine. As it seemed that Catherine would not survive, she activated a gun and, using its automatic targeting system, fired at each robot, causing their systems to shut down. A military helicopter arrived to rescue Ben's entire team. When Catherine opened her eyes, she saw the real mission of the robots and feared that she might have been converted into one of them as well. With that, our story comes to an end.